Greetings, everyone. I am Nick Hayward, founder of Prophesied Legacy Ministries and the visionary of Cornerstone Fellowship. I wanted to give you another thought for today. While we're studying our series, Ordinary People, as we talk through the text, our version of Bible study, I'd like to focus on another ordinary person, Andrew. We know Andrew is one of the 12 disciples, but he's also a brother of Peter. Okay, Andrew and Peter are brothers, but they're very different in their approaches. We know Peter was hot-headed. We know that Peter was a born leader. He was charismatic, courageous, all those great things. But then there's his brother, Andrew, who's sort of behind the scenes, laid back, but he was a leader as well. So the thought that I'd like to give you for today is true leaders embrace your departure with the same energy they embrace your arrival. So you might say, what does that have to do with the two brothers, Peter and Andrew? Well, we know that Andrew and John, another of the disciples, were devout followers of John the Baptist prior to them following Jesus. So this is why the prelude is sometimes just as important as the story. So Andrew and John are following John the Baptist. And we know John the Baptist was he was in the wilderness. He was dressed in camel's hair. He had a belt of leather. He ate locusts and honey. He was kind of different. So they were devout followers of him, Andrew and John. But one day, John the Baptist is in the wilderness and he's saying, prepare ye the way of the Lord. He's letting them know the Messiah is coming, but I am not the Messiah. But one day after John the Baptist had baptized Jesus, Andrew and John had an encounter with Jesus. Andrew and John are standing with John the Baptist, and along comes Jesus, and John the Baptist says, there is the Messiah. So the one that they were waiting for, now Andrew has had an encounter with him. And to get back to my original point of true leaders embracing your departure with the same energy they display on your arrival, Andrew and John, devout followers of John the Baptist, have now seen Jesus, the one they've been waiting for. And the scriptures let us know they instantly stopped following John the Baptist and began to follow Jesus. So imagine that. John the Baptist, here, I've been your leader. I've been, teaching and preaching, and y'all were following. And now all of a sudden, here comes the Messiah, and instantly you leave. The scripture never said that John was upset. John the Baptist was upset. The scripture never said that, John the Baptist told Andrew, I need your letter and I need to know where you're going. It just simply said they stopped following John the Baptist and they followed the Messiah. Andrew they were so intrigued. They were just like, Rabbi, where are you staying? And Jesus simply said, come and see. So that day they found the Messiah. They were so intrigued by him, they spent the entire day with him and began to follow him. So I ask a question. When it comes to leadership, are departures embraced just as well as arrivals? And notice that another thought I want to give you. We know Peter's leadership style and how he was just like charismatic and he was gung-ho and go. But his brother Andrew was so different, because Andrew is noted in the scriptures for being the one that didn't bring masses to Christ, but he always brought individuals. So he had a totally different outlook. He had a totally different approach, but he was all about the ministry. And another thing for you, finding Jesus is such a great thing that once you find him, you always want to go share. So Andrew and John were Jesus's first two disciples. And what did Andrew do after his encounter and spending time with Jesus? He went back to the one he was closest to, his brother Peter, to tell Peter all about Jesus. So who are you sharing the good news with? How excited were you to find the master that once you found him, you were eager to share the good news with others? We see a parallel of approaches between Peter and Andrew, because what Andrew teaches us is we don't have to always lead from the forefront. We can lead from the background. Andrew isn't mentioned as many times in the scriptures as Peter, but we do know that Andrew was one of the 4 disciples that were closest to Jesus. So it's not always about your proximity as long as we play our position. And always remember, in leadership, the same way you're welcoming individuals as they come in, you should give them the same welcome and the same energy as they depart. So will you join us as we continue to talk through the text and study ordinary people?